and you can download a PDF which gives you a lot more background. Enough of that, but you do need to know not just what kind of person you are, what kind of persons you're around. Who are your colleagues? It helps you to understand when you're working in a work group or team what each other's strengths are and also where any gaps might be. So starting off at the first step in the innovation process, that of finding the opportunity, the brand that I was running, we engaged David and Elizabeth Emanuel, who were the designers of the famous wedding dress, and they designed a range of products for us. And we actually used Marks and Spencer's as our distribution arm. And we, I'll be frank, made a lot of money out of that because we responded to social change. So find the change that is out there and change your offering. Don't keep looking for new customers to sell your old product to. Find new offerings to satisfy your present customers because they are much easier to do business with than new customers. What you're looking for is a greenfield marketplace, one that has not been touched by anyone else. And the way you're going to find that is through open networking. Friends of friends, colleagues of colleagues, people 2 and 3 degrees of separation from where you are now are the people you need to be connecting with. And this activity that I've just described to you is separate from the solutioning part. That's the next step, where we find the solution. In both this and the solutioning steps, that networking is absolutely crucial because breakthroughs are going to occur at the intersection of bodies of knowledge. It's a concept that's been around for decades. We used to call it the think tank, where you mix people from widely diverse disciplines together and come up with new ideas. There's nothing new about that. So connecting to the solution means that, first of all, we need to define exactly what is the customer's problem. And I'm going to give you another quote now. I love this one. It's from Albert Einstein. He said, "If I had an hour to save the world, I'd spend 55 minutes defining the problem and 5 minutes finding the solution." I think that's a wonderfully cool statement, an hour to save the world. So define the problem, and then importantly, this is where we really step out of the box, where we go to totally new worlds and see how they're doing things. Perhaps one of the best pieces of history relating to this is Henry Ford. He was looking for new ways to produce large volumes of automobiles. He was looking, how do I do mass production? Well, one day he was walking around a meat factory. Nothing to do with cars. He saw all the meat hanging on hooks, and for decades afterwards, that's how car part factories worked. The parts hung on hooks and moved around the factory. So find your ideas in new environments. This takes time. The epiphany will not come quickly, and when it does come, it will seem incredible. Perhaps the greatest example of this is our good friend Archimedes. And of course, you all remember your school physics lesson where our physics teacher said to us, well, Archimedes discovered the concept of specific gravity one day when he had a bath, and of course the water overflowed and he ran down the street naked shouting, "Eureka! I found it!" Well, what the physics teacher did not tell you was perhaps the most important part of that. He took a bath. He relaxed. And that's what we don't do well. We don't step out of our current environment, relax, and allow our thoughts to expand. Because that's where you find those new ideas, allowing yourself space. And importantly, we need to give ourselves as many solutions as possible. The phrase I like for this comes from Linus Pauling, the Nobel Prize physicist. He said the best way to get a good idea is to get lots of ideas. And that's what you want at this stage. lots of ideas, and be ready to give up what you always thought was sacred. So, just a word of warning here when we're doing solutioning. In the world of quality, we have tended to stick in the analytical mode when finding solutions. And because of data analysis, we tend to find solutions that are very much within the status quo. We find a broken step in the process. We find, oh, the requirements are not clear and things like that. That does not move you forward. It keeps you where you are, just makes it a little bit better.